Well, as normal, Rick, when we do reviews, we go see the film, we walk straight out of it, we come back, and we talk about it. And the film that we have just walked out of the cinema of back home is Marvel's Thunderbolts with the asterisks.
With the Z.
Yeah, look, Rick, I remember when they first announced this film, it kind of was announced, and it always felt that Marvel was making a big deal out of what didn't seem super interesting at the time. So there wasn't a lot of buzz for this. Wasn't a lot of buzz, I don't think, when they first announced it. But bits and pieces started coming through. And I remember saying to you, if they could get the next two films of Captain America, Brave New World, and Thunderbolts good, the MCU is kind of back. Before Fantastic Four comes out and think, you get these two films right, they're kind of back. And I'm happy to say, after walking out of that film, Rick, I believe the MCU is back. Yep. Thunderbolts is a blast.
Yep. I can finally say they finally got it right. It felt really right, and it's good to say that because we haven't had a very good MCU movie for a long time, since prior to obviously this year, but I'm saying, you know what I mean? So it was really good to see that, and I think they nailed a lot of good. And this is not a normal, I felt wasn't a really normal superhero movie, which was good.
No, it's not. Look, I mean, we'll get into spoilers later on in this review, and I'll let you know in the cases, but we'll talk in just general terms for now. This is, it's a smaller film. It's not an Avengers level type of movie, you know what I mean? Although there's some very big ideas in this film to me is not only did they get the characters right, like who they chose to be in this movie, I thought it was such an interesting choice to have these people. This film, for me, I walked out of it thinking, this really deals with mental health, this movie.
Oh,
this movie's about mental health.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
They're not just superheroes, they're ordinary people.
People are
dealing with a lot of people out there now in this real world deal with every day-to-day basis.
The film is Yelana's film, right? And that's fair to say. She's the one that we as an audience followed through. So she's the main, even though it's a team film, we're really following her story. Unbelievable. Florence Pugh is just so great.
She makes this movie. She does.
She's really great. She's kind of wonderful. And she's at a point, again, this is not really spoilery. This is more set up. It's fair to say, Rick, that she's at a point in her journey that she's extremely unhappy and lost.
And you see that straight off the bat. The first opening scene is what allows you to say that. But again, and the supporting cast is really good as well.
Unbelievably good.
And I'm a quick spoiler here, but the only thing I didn't get is why do they kill off Taskmaster? I don't understand that.
That is a spoiler, but a very early spoiler.
I don't understand. Yeah, very early spoiler, but I don't understand that.
Neither do I. I think that's the shock.
I didn't see it coming, but I just thought it would have been nice to see that character evolve. We saw in Black Widow. I wanted to see a little bit more depth about that character, and then they just go and
Well, you know what? I think that's under audience pressure. A lot of people who are comic book fans despise the MCU's Taskmaster.
Yeah.
So I think that's another way to kind of get rid of that. This film works on very many levels. It's like I said, it's not a massive film. It's really a character-driven film. We have a villain, but it's also not a villain at the same time, which is fair to say. But it really is. It's a movie that's really bound together, and its strength is the interpersonal relationships with each other. Obviously, Red Guardian just being
David Harbour again.
Amazing, stealing in everything he does.
Scene's in, yeah.
But even having John Walker, US agent, I thought was great. Having Ghost, who had way more to do in this film than she did in Ant-Man and the Wasp. Which was great for her because she was a surprise for me too, and how, I really enjoyed her. Everybody in this was just perfectly cast. The tone is right. I did laugh the fact that Bucky Barnes is a congressman. There you go.
Yeah. We kind of saw that in
but he's like a US congressman. He sits in there that's kind of ridiculous. But then the line saying, when they question what's her name? Sorry, I keep thinking Valencia, but it's not Valencia. Vanessa, it's not Vanessa. Julie Louise Dreyfus.
Yeah.
Anyway, and she mentions, well, you want to talk about government president. We just had a president who,
turned into a big red killing machine. Yeah.
So, no, look, everything kind of works for this. They are kind of, it does feel like also they're closing a chapter of the MCU because they're kind of going back to, and you see this in the trailer, the old Avengers building and things like that.
And that's what nostalgic for me, because it reminded me of that first phase of how good it was. And then even little slight references that they were saying about how, they kind of, and to me, I took it as if they referenced it as in, Marvel have stuffed up in the past, but we're fixing it now. And with certain lines that were saying.
And that could be them recognising that. And they do need to fix up, obviously needed to fix up a few things. But this film works really well. I think it's a great film. I think it's something fresh in an MCU where you can get very stale very quickly if you just kept going on what they were doing a few years ago. This added the freshness it deserved. Now let's get into the spoilers. Rick already kind of dipped into that with the killing of Taskmaster. Yeah, big surprise. What? Really, that's about what you just said about them wanting to repair the past.
Maybe that's a way, but
that's what they're doing. The other big spoiler, obviously, comes in the after-credit scenes. A couple of interesting after-credit scenes. Number one, the Thunderbolts. Oh, by the way,
just
the moment where they actually find out why it's called Thunderbolts with the asterisk. It's silly, but it's perfect. But the after-credit scenes, honestly, are pretty significant in this. Number one, you find out that the New Avengers...
They call them the New Avengers.
They are now forming the New Avengers. And they're the New Avengers for a while.
14 months is what they say.
Skip to 14 months.
At the end of that.
Which is clearly specifically designed as a lead-in for Avengers Doomsday we get.
Yep.
And again, the spoilers, like, this is a big spoiler coming up. But they are sitting in a room... kind of trying to figure out where they fit in all this. They know they're New Avengers. They feel like the Z team. They see an interdimensional instance in outer space. No, the first thing is a reference. There's a big, giant cosmic thing in outer space.
Yeah. Walker goes in space. We've got plenty of space.
Plenty of space. But there's something going on, right? Massively, which is huge. And then they reference something else that's on the radar. They have a look in space. And what we get is a ship with the label Fantastic Four logo on there.
And then it kind of turns over and then they reveal Fantastic Four.
So Fantastic Four, that's obviously leading into Avengers Doomsday, which is kind of cool. The other big thing I suppose is worth spoiling is that we do get the comic hero Sentry in this film, which was kind of, we knew that was coming. But what I didn't know, and I was really shocked about the film, was the fact that we had the Void. We have Void, which I was really shocked at. And the thing is about Sentry and Void is they are undeniably a villain that you think they can't beat, which is, to me, always good, because you want to have villains that are an actual threat to the people in the film.
Yeah.
And Sentry, nobody could stop him.
No, and you look at him in that movie. So essentially, people who don't know him, he's basically Superman of Marvel version, really.
Well,
he's indestructible.
Like
he's just a bit of everything, really.
He's Homelander.
He's untouchable. Like he's just.
But when he turns into Void, I found that even better because he would just...
That's his dark side.
Yeah, where he just dusts people, but doesn't dust them like in the traditional sense. All it leaves is a black shadow on the ground of there.
Yeah.
Which I thought was great, which was kind of really good. And yet the third act, rather than being a big spectacle, goes inward and it's very cerebral and it is dealing with mental health.
And that's what was good about it. It wasn't just this typical, superhero movie, oh my God, the city's going to crash and burn and all the rest of it. Yeah, they did something different, which was great to see.
Yeah, really.
So good.
There's a bit of damage to a couple of buildings in this.
Yeah, but not
really
but that
not
was just
over
the setup,
the top.
But
because like that, all the action happens in that other dimension. No, it's a great film. I definitely recommend. A film I think will serve itself well to the reputation of Marvel, which it needs. So, maybe not everyone's going to go and see this film. I have no idea about box office this weekend yet. It's a bit early to tell. But what I will say is, even if it falls short box office wise, this thing will be well respected once it comes out.
It's a solid movie, and it's not going to hit like we discussed. I don't think it will hit $1 billion, but it will be up there. It will definitely be up there.
Yeah, I think achievement for this would be getting over anything grossing over 500 million,
which I think it will.
You give this movie a big tick because this movie 100%. Is a risk. This is a risk because, at the time, take Deadpool Wolverine out of the situation. But besides that, we were struggling in finding, getting content from Marvel that was doing as well as it was previously, right? Phase 4, the infamous Phase 4. It's been a problem for a while, hasn't it? So, to do this film and to do Captain America: Brave New World with the new Captain America, I think were two very bold choices because you could have pulled out big guns. Oh, we're going to get another Thor movie and Thor will make us money. Oh, we're going to do another Ant-Man. That'll make us money. No, you've gone with a risky Captain America and Thunderbolts. Like I said, these are not even the B-grade characters in the MCU roster. These are characters that were like Ghost. When last time we saw her? 2018.
That was it.
That was it. Taskmaster, we got to see
Black Widow.
5-10 minutes in Black Widow. That was 5 years ago. And the list goes on. Red Guardian. Well, I feel like it's been a lot more.
Black Widow again.
But we haven't seen much of him since Black Widow.
No. So
it's kind of cool what they've done. So, look. The only thing I would say is don't think you're going in to see a Marvel spectacle. And I think
a lot of kids are expecting that. Because there's a lot of young kids because I think it's got Marvel written all over it.
Yeah.
So probably a little bit confusing for some of the kids, younger kids.
Yeah, it's not a Spider-Man film.
No, correct.
No, it's definitely not.
It's not that type of level
movie.
No.
It's a
solid movie.
Very solid, very solid. In fact, I get the feeling with this one, Rick, it's actually going to age really well. Like, we're going to look back on this in 5 years' time and going, damn, that was a good one.
I like the way they wrote in all the characters, like, how Walker was struggling with. Everyone, they were all struggling with something. They're all mentally, they were struggling with something.
Yeah, Red Guardian's checked out.
He just
he's a limo driver. He's just checked out.
And, Walker's got his struggle with his kids, and you see a little bit more about him and how vulnerable each character is. It's so good. I think it was just written really, really well. And they all gelled. They actually did feel like a dysfunctional team, as they put it.
And you know how I reckon they achieved that? Because they also did something very different that I haven't seen in a long time. The first act of this movie happens generally in one building.
Yeah.
Like, once they get locked in, and it's very evident, and this happens straight early in the movie, which I don't know about you guys, but I appreciated, that they in that building a long-ass time until they finally get out, and then we have that great scene with Bucky and all that kind of thing. So, again, it's a Marvel movie. You got Marvel money to spend, and you're actually spending it most of the time.
It wasn't,
in one room or that elevator shaft.
Which was a great scene.
It was good. The whole thing is really good. They've really kind of, it feels like they've captured the formula again.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it was like we had Marvel for a while. There was New Coke from the 80s. Like, now they've brought back the original recipe.
And it's working.
And it's kind of
getting more excited about going back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Don't you have any more to add for this Thunderbolts?
Yeah, I like Bucky as well, how he was struggling being congressman. You didn't really see much of that side of him. The young girl who played the secretary or the helper of
I've seen her before.
She was really good. I thought she was great.
She was good. She's been around a bit. I can't remember the actress's name, but she's really, really good. And
she had that struggle to determine what she wanted to do.
You're going to do scenes up against one of the comedy greats, and holds her own.
Yeah. And there were some dark bits in this movie as well. It went into some dark areas as well, which I thought was
again
great.
all cerebral though, all based on your own mental health and and things like that.
They did it really well. Marvel treated that really, really well. So,
and here's the brilliance, though, dude, is that you make a film that is dealing with mental health, and you turn it into one hell of an entertaining couple of hours.
Not easy, and they did it.
Well, they did it, right?
Yeah, they did it. They did it. Oh, 100% they did it.
You know, and without going with the cheap jokes or anything like that.
No, even with, how we said David Harbour stole his scenes, but they weren't cheap jokes. They were still
genuine to his character.
Yeah, and they worked really, really well.
They worked really well.
Him and Florence Pugh were bouncing off each other the way they do it. The delivering of it was just
But they
great.
didn't even oversell the expansiveness of the MCU itself. They do it in very subtle ways, like the party that Contessa is at early on in the film. In the background, you're seeing posters of Iron Man and Captain America. It was a memorial for Save the Battle for New York Foundation or something.
And
it was a foundation about the Battle for New York.
Different relics and.
But you had those little bits of physics in the background which worked really well.
They moved in the old Avengers.
Oh, and all you had from there was the bar. They kept the bar.
Yeah.
That was the bar.
Great view. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, and it's a smart thing to do because she represents, her wanting to be that, but twist it in her own way by taking over the Avengers building represents.
She was really good though.
That she is just a second tier,
She was good.
She was really good, and what they do with her in the end.
I didn't see that. I was just like, okay, they've finally got her. That's it. Yeah. And then she just flips the switch.
But they flip the switch back on her.
Yeah.
So it's actually really, really kind of clever. Now, this is a great film. If you don't go see it at the movies, when it comes out on Disney Plus, I think you'll be thoroughly entertained with the film. I think this is going to be honestly up there, living in the top 10, maybe. I would dare say, and that's a big deal to say.
It is
top 10, but I would certainly right now. I think it's got a spot there, maybe number 8, 9, or 10. But
be cool.
Out of all the Marvel movies, Thunderbolts
so far.
Yeah. I had a great time today, dude. It was great.
Oh, I enjoyed it. I loved the movie. Going into it, I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Everything was, like I said, it's a solid movie. It's not a perfect movie, but it's a solid movie and it's enjoyable. It was really, really good. So. Mate,
well, guys, we would love to hear what your thoughts were on Thunderbolts. If you've seen it, when you've seen it, I will assume that you would have seen the film before getting to this point in this video. Because you're at this point in this video when you just spoiled the movie. So, nevertheless, we would love you to be involved. Rick, can you give them a brief breakdown on how they can do that?
Guys, all you need to do is drop us a comment down below and follow us across all our social media platforms, guys. Really appreciate it. That's it.
Fantastic. And don't forget, before we go, the Thunderbolt popcorn buckets. Of course, the man...
In Australia, there's only two.
And of course, he's collecting his tins. Doesn't just get one, but he gets both of them. They look very cool. All right, guys, we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Thanks for watching the Pop Culture Spread YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Also, don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms. And if you're looking for some quality wear, don't forget to check out our merchandise store available right now.